Previously on Follow the NPC. Say, hello, can I help you? Can I have a tour, please? And she'll go, yeah, sure, follow me. So if we follow her this time, when she arrives at her destination, provided we don't lose her, you will see she will stop. Perfect. And if I go up, it'll say quest succeeded. And now she's walking home. So in this extra little bit of functionality now, at the moment you can't actually tell when you're going to fail or when you're not going to fail. So I'm going to show you how to quickly mock up a small UI to show you what distance you are away from the NPC. What I'm going to do is come into my UI widgets here, and I'm going to create a new user interface widget called WB. It'll be a type of user widget called WB distance meter. Inside here, I'm going to add a canvas panel, and then inside the canvas panel, I'm going to add an overlay. Inside the overlay, I'm going to add two new elements, one of a progress bar, and I'm going to call it PB meter, and I'm going to add a text input. I'm going to add a text inside the overlay, and this will be txt distance. I'm going to set the progress bar to be full width and full height, and I'm going to set the text blocks as text to just simply be something like 2000m for 2000 meters. Just so we can see it, I'm going to set the progress meter to 0.5%, so it's half full, and I'm going to position the overlay roughly where I want it. So I'm just going to set it roughly near the end here, and I'm just going to scale it up a little bit more. So I've added a black outline, and I'm just going to set the font size to 18 and just customize it a little bit. I have some background elements that I know I want to use for these, so I'm going to fill mine in, but you can put whatever you want or use the default colors. There we are. So there's my little progress bar that will spawn up when we activate this quest. Now we've customized the UI, I'm going to simply click the progress bar, and I'm going to tick is variable, and I'm going to tick the same for the text box here. So when we go to the graph, you should have your access to your two components. So I'm going to create a custom event called set progress. And this will take two inputs, one called value, which will be a type of float. This will be the current distance between the NPC and the player. And the next one, I will set this to max distance, which I will set this to a integer. And this will be the max distance before we fail. So now that we have our current value and our max distance, I'm going to take the current value and I'm going to divide it by the max distance. This will basically give us a value between 0 and 1, how far the value is away from the max distance. And now we've got that, we can drag the progress meter in, and then we can set the percent, like so. And the in percent will be our new divider value, and we can drag the XX up like so. Now that we've done this, we can set the text. So I'm going to drag the text value down here, and I'm just going to simply call set text. And the text for this will be the value here rounded. So this will take any floating numbers and round it up to an integer. You may or may not want this part. I'm going to append it here to a string, so I can add the M after it for meters, but you can use whatever units you want. Then finally, I'm going to drag this into my text up here, and it will convert it to a text for me. So this little bit here will get the progress, get a value between 0 and 1 of the current position to the max distance they're allowed to be, set the percent, and then it will set the text, so it'll tell us how far away you are. So this will work and is very good, but it'll look even better if we can colour the bar depending on where you are in relation to the failure point. What I'm going to do is come to my widgets here, and I'm going to right click, create a new structure here, and I'm going to call it S color range. If we open this up, we can add variables in here. A struct is basically like a blueprint without any of the other bits you can do, just purely for data structure. This first value, I'm going to set it to float range. That'll be the title of it, and the type of it will be a float range, like so. And this will basically give us two numbers we can put between where the color is supposed to be. And the new variable here will be color. And the type will also be color here, like so. So if we come back to our distance meter now, we can use this struct as a variable. And I'm going to set the variable name to be colors, and I'm going to use our new color range here. And I'm going to drag this color range off, and then I'm going to convert it to an array. So what this means now is if we were to add a default value to it, you can see we can add a range between two numbers and a color to what it needs to be. So for example, I could set the max to be 0.2, and then I can set the color to be red. And now we can loop through this and say anything what's between 0 and 0.2, the color of the progress bar will be red. And then you can completely customize depending on how your quest works to how you want the progress bar to show. So what I'm going to do is drag our colors out here, and I'm going to create a for loop based on it with a break. And then what I can do is I can drag from here, and I can do break color range here, which will split the variables up. And then I can break on the float range here, and then I can finally break on the lower bound and the upper bound. Then I can get our percent value that we worked out over here, and I can say in range. So what we can say is, here's our value. Is it in range of these two other properties? And the two other properties, as you can guess, will be the value of the minimum and the value of the maximum, like so. Finally, I can create a branch node at the end of it here and connect it up and say, is this value within the range of these two min and maxes? If it is, then we can grab the progress bar and set its color. Set fill color and opacity. And the color will be the current node that we've looped through back here as soon as we break it. There we go. And if we successfully find it, then we can stop looping through it, so we can drag back to the break here, which will basically mean instead of looping through all the remaining colors, it will simply stop looping as soon as it finds the first one, like so. Now that we've done that, we just need to plug this new color range and our UI into our code.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Decryption here. So for some reason the video crapped out and removed all the audio, so I'm going to do my best to try and sync it back up. So to start making the UI work, jump into your BP Follow NPC controller and go to the event Begin. Drag the check distance node to the side and we'll create our UI here. Start by adding a create widget node and set it to our new WB distance meter. Then set the owning player to the player controller. After this, we need to store the UI in a variable so we can access it later. Promote it to a variable, then add it to the viewport. Now rename this variable to distance meter. This code will add the UI to your screen, but we need to make it work. Scroll down to your check distance event. Drag your distance meter variable in, and just after the event creation, call your set progress method. Link up the XX and set the values. The value will be the distance between the NPC and the player, and the max distance will be your max distance before fail node. Finally, go down to your end node and move your destroy actor across. Drag the distance meter in and then run the remove from parent node. This will destroy the distance meter once we have finished with it. Save and compile. Now we have the UI, we just need to assign colours to it. Jump back into your WB distance meter, click your colours variable and tap the instance editable and expose on spawn. Compile and save. Now go back to your Follow NPC controller, right click the widget and refresh. You will now see that we have the colours variable appear, so we can set it. Drag off this and promote it to a variable. Make it instance editable and expose on spawn also. Now jump into your event and refresh the spawn actor node. Drag the colours off and promote it to a variable. Now in your quest, you can see the colours appear on the spawn Follow NPC controller event. You can now add the colours in to show how you want the progress bar to work. You can absolutely default these too. One small aspect of this you'll need to be aware of is you'll need to work from it backwards. If you try to set a minimum first, the engine won't let you because your maximum is already 0. So set the maximum, then set the minimum. For me, I'm going to set it to 0 to 0.5 to be green. You are either close or in the middle, which is a good range. The next will be 0.61 to 0.8. This will be yellow, a warning, you're getting too far. The final one will be 0.81 to 1, red, danger, you're about to fail. And with this complete, you can save and compile, and let's test it. So you can see I can run up to Valia and start the quest, and the progress bar is there. Fantastic. If I stay behind it, it will tick up and become yellow, and then red, and then the quest will fail. If I restart and stay with her, you can see it will fluctuate, but it will stay in range. I can also get ahead of her and it will compensate for that. And if I complete the quest, it works. Perfect. There is currently one bug we need to fix, and that's if you set the max distance to 0, then the code will error because the UI cannot calculate the progress bar. This is easily fixed by jumping into your Follow NPC controller and moving the create widget across. Add a branch that says if you have a max distance that equals 0, skip the UI creation and go straight to check distance. Otherwise, create the widget. Then scroll down to your check distance function and from your distance meter check if it's valid. If it is valid, set the progress bar, then continue. Otherwise, skip the set progress. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.